As we all know, things are looking grim. Neela has joined herself to the clockwork frame and the Union has produced Clockla. She's out and free to terrorize the world. This blimp is still in motion to Paris. I can only assume Arpeggio's autopilot will activate the hate hypnosis light show. If that happens, there will be no stopping Clockla. She'll be immortal. But we still have a chance. In her new form, she'll need to draw a lot of energy from this blimp's engines to stay strong. If we can disable the engines, that should be enough to weaken her to a state in which we can attack. Getting at these engines will require all three of us to work together in perfect harmony. We've pulled off some tough jobs in the past, but they were just the warm-up round for what we'll be going through tonight.
Why hello, I didn't see you there. Welcome back to Sly 2 Ban of the... I have no idea what that was supposed to be, I'm sorry. I just felt inspired by the music. Okay, disregarding that, here we are. Aboard Arpeggio's airship, collecting the last 30 clue bottles we need. I recommend doing this as early as now because the safe is from this point onward available to you if you just select the right mission. I wouldn't say the move you get is essential by any means, but it can potentially be helpful. I'd say that this level of all levels is definitely the most helpful one to get it in at least. But before going on about the level itself, I'm going to briefly interrupt myself to show what happened when I accidentally entered a job during this. I've actually never shown this, but I accidentally entered a job because this bottle is located on the exact same position as one of the jobs. So I'm gonna collect the bottle, go down from this balloon, then you can go to the menu, and I believe abandon job. Yes, abandon. So there we go, very insignificant, but at least it's shown, I guess. So, about collecting the bottles here. This place is certainly true to its role of being a final area by being super tricky. Collecting the bottles is not necessarily an easy thing to do here, but you can, you know, streamline the process, I guess, I don't know. As I've recommended several times before, this place is excellent for segmentation, if that's even a word. It's excellent for dividing into different chunks because the level kind of already is divided into different chunks. Think of all the bridges as leading to different islands, basically. So just think about the starting island with the hideout and you search that thoroughly and then you move on to the next place and don't move from there until you feel you've searched there thoroughly and so forth. That's essentially the main idea. It's certainly not the first time we've done it, but I wouldn't exactly call it the easiest either. I mean, as you might be able to see, I do kind of struggle myself to actually keep up with this, so it's unfortunately not foolproof, at least not when you're dealing with fools such as myself. Now, with that out of the way, we gotta discuss the elephant in the room, who jumped into a bird's mouth and became the bird in the sky. Or something. What? Neela was foreshadowed throughout the entire game. And I love this so much. I absolutely adore how Neela was written. And I'm sorry for taking like the seriousness away from this, but when you play through the game for the first time, at least in my experience, I'm not the kind of guy to easily predict things are gonna happen in stories, and honestly, I genuinely didn't see it coming. I don't know if this is just because I'm very dumb or because the game really is written so well, but the first time, it really caught me by surprise. And then the second time, it's so obvious. Like everything Neela says and does points towards something like this happening. And I can't believe I never saw it coming! But I like to think that it's not just because I'm dumb. I like to think that it's actually because the game is written in such a genius way, where it actually really pays off to play through it for a second time and catch all the clues. And I'm inclined to think that this is the writer's intention, because it's certainly not the only instance of foreshadowing in this game. Did you, for example, catch back in episode 3, when we were feeding Rajan's spices to an elephant, as Sly points out, don't feed this to Murray. Guess what happened next episode? I'm perfectly willing to admit that I'm just very slow with this, but I still very much appreciate and really enjoy finding these things out. I really love the writing to this game a lot, and I've really gotten to appreciate it more now that I've played through it again. It's little things like that, where, again, in my experience, you pick up on more things for every time you play the game again, and that is a very different kind of replayability where, like, the gameplay itself is basically the same every time, but you still get those new experiences. And you'd think a game like this would have the simplest of stories and most basic of writing, but it really is more advanced than that. And I'm really impressed and I really love it. And now this is a very special moment. We're going to be collecting our final bottle, and it's not even a sly, strangely enough, because using Bentley's hover pack, you can make your way up to the top of this thing. And that's it. There's not a single bottle left in the entire game. Well, I'm sure there are bottles, but not clue bottles, you know. With that, let's get on with our work. One thing I like about a lot of the missions coming up is that we're gonna have a lot of so-called duo missions. First off...
Murray, it looks like I'm gonna need some help getting into that engine room.
Happy to help.
Bentley tells me that the door to that room is locked down by wall-mounted power stations located throughout this blimp. I'll need you to take out all the power stations and then pry open the door by hand.
No sweat, Sly.
Alright, we have some things to break as usual. For this mission, I recommend having the guttural roar ready, because as when we broke alarm things back in Paris, we're gonna have a lot of enemies come and bother us once we do this. As such, having the guttural roar, that is not a easy word for a non-English person to say. Having that can be useful because enemies that are actually not coming to do anything. Where are the enemies? What the No, really, this is very barren. This is weird. Also kind of a potential problem. Okay, there we go. You want to use the enemies that are supposed to come towards you to use those as... There's one guy. That was weird. Yeah, you kind of want to use the enemies to your advantage, using them to toss over to the alarms if you run out of objects. I kind of run out of enemies somehow, but... I don't know, that was weird. We have 5 of these suckers to go to, so let's just find the nearest one, which I believe should be over this way. This will kind of, sorta, wow, I really cannot be certain or confident with my words. This mission can potentially illustrate some of the difficulties of navigating this area. Like, as you've seen, it's tricky enough already as it is with Sly, but as with usual, he has a bunch of advantages that Murray and Bentley just simply don't. But even so, I really feel that this level is structured similarly to level 5, the second prog mission, where it's by all means a very tall and kind of tricky, jumpy type of level, but it's structured in such a way that the advantages that Sly gets don't feel like the disadvantages of the other two are, like, terrible, you know? No, see, you can pick them up if they're already alarmed, so they're not... bleh. I think if you can actually do it right, though, you can use the guttural roar to make them not attacking you anymore, and that's a good opportunity to freak off! To, you know, get them. Here's next alarm, by the way. I wasn't even looking where I was going, I was just hoping that it was a good idea. Okay, see here? They all fuck off, and you can just go on with your business. They don't fuck off for very long, so be a little bit quick on your feet, but it really is a helpful thing, by all means. And then you should also kill some enemies to get your health back, so you can get your special gauge back, and so you can don't fall down so much. Actually, what am I doing? I probably want to use something more useful. Let's do the Raging Infernal Flop. I'm not sure I've ever even shown that. Boom! Yeah, instantly kills one guy. Apparently, for some reason, well, wait, no, I don't think this can actually insta-kill. I'm pretty sure that guy just happened to have one hit left and it looked like it insta-killed one guy. Like, if this could insta-kill several guys in one go, that would make this move a whole lot more useful. I thought that was going to be the last one. Have I really not hit the alarm more than once? Twice, I mean? There. Because I believe they all take 3 hits. Next one is all the way on the other side. Oh, this one's a little bit different because I died. What? I didn't press the... That's weird, okay. What I meant to show off is that these eggs will be infinitely respawning, so they're a good way to use. Good way to use? What the? Okay, well, some of them will contain flying guys, which is not fun, but...
Looks like the power locks are offline. Come on back and pry it open for me.
Now, strangely, despite the fact that this is... Why do I keep falling down as soon as I start talking again? Strangely, despite the fact that this is clearly a ladder, Mary can't climb it. I understand that he didn't learn to swim while living in an orphanage, but he didn't learn how to climb a ladder either. I find that a little bit hard to believe. Instead, in order to get to the top levels as Murray, you want to go back to this platform where the safe house is found. Use this thing to spring it up here, and then you can use this platform. You can see the wave mark is somewhere over this way. All the way up there, in fact. Damn. Oh, wait, no. It was just obscured a little bit by the tower. Mash the buttons as usual. Nobody's here to tell us that because Murray's grown so much, I guess.
Your turn, buddy.
Careful, Sly. This place is packed with laser security. First, you'll need to make your way to the far end of this room, then jump up to the second level to get at the engine room control center.
Okay. Sorry to break the sort of quote-unquote immersion here, but I think there's something wrong with my L2 button, because I keep accidentally activating these power-ups without even touching the button at all. It's a bit strange. I hope they won't come to bite me in the ass, because I don't actually have any other PS3 controllers. Well, I have a PS4, I can probably just connect that. So we just want to burn our asses and get across this place very slowly. Not the most thrilling, to be honest. But we sure do it. And like, this is like one of those sliding doors. I don't like sliding doors, they stress me out. But because you know, you go in, and as soon as you're in, it's too late. You can't change your mind, you know? Like, it always just kind of sucks to get like your suitcase crash into the door behind you or something like that, and then, I don't know. Just not something I care for. Going over here. Excuse me? Okay, I've always been known for being the guy with the terrible, awful sense of direction, but how... it's beyond even me how I managed to miss that.
Alright, the control center is opposite your position in the room. With some well-timed spire jumping, you should be able
Man,
to
Bentley, you have impeccable timing. Well-timed spire jumps, sure, okay. The saw blades that you see rotating are not gonna be rotating on the, like, next go around. That's how you know where to go. This is a tiny bit more interesting than what in the... What did I... Wait, did I get hurt by the wall or the saw? I'm not even sure right there. We just follow this along over to the other side here. Again, this wall is just painfully slow. But sooner rather than later, we can make our way over here, and you'll see, before we go on with this, we actually have our final save.
That Arpeggio really knew his encryption algorithms. As it stands, I'm only 86.5% convinced the code to the vault is 725.
Okay, Bentley, I've played D&D, I've died with an 87% chance of survival. This better not explode. This chair's in the way. Okay, for our final save power-up, we have Shadow Power.
You got the Shadow Power move.
Indeed. This might be familiar to some people. This makes you invisible. Quite simple. And the special gauge will drain very slowly until you release it again, and it can be a very handy thing to use, actually. Enemies won't notice you, but you cannot attack enemies. Again, if I may use D&D as a comparison, it's like turning invisible and using a magic thing, or attacking, or doing anything fucking at all. Doing so will make you visible again. I said that as if I was trying to like time it or something, but I turned invisible and saying the word visible, so that didn't really work out at all. Anyway though, with that done, next time we will continue the series of duo missions by starting off with the one mission that isn't a duo mission at all. Very logical. I don't know. Don't question my planning here. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.